Tiny Tusk. Tiny Tusk.
Not a huge fan of the Tiny first two.
I'm a fan of the Tusk. He's
Flex,
one of the best position for besides
Still flex or
Spirit.
not?
It's flex, it's just like so solved. And Tiny doesn't provide enough team fight, raw damage output, sustained damage output, Roche, tower taking. Like he doesn't check all the boxes that a lot of these other heroes, especially offlaners, are able to do. He also can't itemize for your team. It's a very selfish hero.
I feel like Tiny's not that good of a pick anymore since everyone is so tanky. You just get a bracer or two, get the magic resistance, have enough HP. You can't be bursted down by Tiny anymore.
Like it used to be, you got Tiny and just went and won the other lanes for just turn up, kill them, go to another lane, kill them. Like you don't see it as much anymore. I am grateful for. It was ridiculous.
The only team that I think should be first doing Tiny is whatever one Limp plays for. Outside that, I'm not a great fan, and I especially dislike it when picked with a complementary support, because this to me demonstrates it's a 3-4, whereas if you leave it floating, the Tiny can be the 4, which is traditionally how teams like Fnatic will run it. They'll pick, I saw them pick Tiny Necro over and over, because you can core both, you can have Jay play it, and
Tusk is mostly played as 5. Actually, he starts with some item shares with the other 4, but having Tiny and Tusk, if you're gonna play both of these as 4 and 5, you're gonna have just weak lane supports.
So we haven't mentioned the ban. A first phase Meepo ban by OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must know something.
I have obviously been
Boom.ID,
been watching, and then quite happy to pick it early as well.
No one picked Phoenix yet. He was picked in it.
He wasn't picked yet.
I don't get that, because I still think this hero is in.
Agreed. It's again like it's a 5 position, and when you think about what 5s are doing in the current meta, Phoenix still accomplishes those tasks pretty effectively. You just want some damage output, bit of wave clear, and the team fight, and Phoenix gives you that in spades.
He's so good.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the power of like good egg placement. After the AoE increase, you don't need the...
You don't have to be up in their grill at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're...
Sneak it down on a low edge or up on behind a bunch of trees and stuff. It's amazing.
I think I'd like to see more Phoenixes utilizing like eggs out of dive. There are times, especially around Roche, where I see a Phoenix like dive in and just egg in the center.
Right.
And it's got a chance of dying, whereas if you just kind of let it loop and then end up on a high ground, like you get uphill miss chance against high ground eggs, which is kind of silly.
Have you ever tried hitting an egg up a hill?
A few times, actually. You know that nursery rhyme about Humpty Dumpty?
Oh, Humpty Dumpty, that's a name that I've been here for 20 years.
Have you ever...
Humpty Dumpty, that's legit. I love that.
Have you ever tried to stand an egg on its stem?
Sure.
On the equinox?
The equinox?
Yeah.
Of an egg? Is that what it's called?
No, if you do it on the equinox, the day,
okay,
and you stand it up, apparently it will stand up.
But only on that day. I use an egg cup.
How does that make sense?
I know it doesn't. It's not logical.
Did you know that in the other hemisphere, the toilets spin the other way?
Yes.
You know that's true.
Yes, I did.
Yes. I've actually seen it spin the other way in other places, though.
Huh.
So it's not true. I don't know why it does that. It's the equator, though, isn't it?
It's the Coriolis.
5 seconds remain.
Again, welcome to Bucharest Science Channel.
If we have time to fill, can we get into like the theory of relativity and how crazy it is that if you're moving very, very fast, time's actually going slower for you in comparison to people standing
we can
still?
talk about the weight of a subject falling at the same speed of the weight of something that is the same weight.
Dark matter, dude. That's
how cool is that?
Crazy.
Yeah. We could also talk about the fact that we've received radio waves from 1.5 billion years away today, and they're repeating,
but they think it
could be a neutron star. Yeah. Could be a couple of them.
We'll find out. Just give it how long we need.
Just that it's 1.5 billion light years away. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, you want to talk about unfathomably large numbers for 1 second? 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31.5 years. All right? And the universe, we expect, is something like 83 billion light years across.
Ish.
You know how big that is?
Yep.
Well, no. Oh, I mean, it's
Real
big.
big.
It's definitely big.
Skywrath.
It's definitely.
But now the
big.
question is,
it's
Paul,
not as big as Skywrath.
Dire crew.
Yeah, I think Phantom Assassin is going to be contested. Maybe Slark is Slark is banned out.
Razor.
Right.
If BOOM.ID picked Pudge and Marana, it's standard pub lineup. For so many games I end up in.
Pudge and Techies. Let's go. I'm ready.
I don't like it as like a hero in this game in the meta, but as a concept, I like that they're picking Sky here. I think it's the best support to play against Earth Spirit Phoenix. Both heroes rely on mobility abilities, just escape, survive. They're very low HP and magic armor, and that's garbage.
No one likes Juggernaut.
Everyone was excited.
So-
Every game, dude. Every game. But
Hey, at least, never mind. So
Yeah,
here's the question,
You need some treatment, Ted, or you're
that's
right?
okay.
Paul. What's a scarier thought?
What?
That we're alone in the universe,
Yeah.
or that we're not?
The scariest thought would be that
Scary
we
thought
are
we are alone. Yeah.
Think of this
Right?
huge. It would be like
Absolutely.
turning up to a holiday resort. There's all these sun lounges, and you're the
Yeah.
only one using them.
Faceless
What's wrong with this
No,
place?
Well,
It
except
must
for,
suck.
no,
No, but
hold on, hold
it's
on.
worse than that. It's more like we got a cabin, right, for like 11 of us, and we're just shitting in it, and no one's going out to explore this wonderful island that we live
No,
on.
but we're
true.
exploring. That's what we're doing.
Huh?
We've sent stuff beyond, you know.
It's very hard to get out there. It's a
The
long
Kuiper
way.
Belt now,
It would be
so-
like going to this island. There's no bus
10
connection,
seconds remain.
and there's no one out there to tell you how to get to the island. And there's no
5
boats, so you're just like,
seconds
Jesus, we're just gonna have to swim. The water's freezing cold.
I mean, I had a
There's no way
slightly.
we'll get back.
I mean, I agree, but I had a slightly different vibe on this. I mean, if we are alone in the universe, that's like basically playing a game of Dota where no one communicates.
Yeah, we're all mute.
Dude, have you ever
That would
had that
suck,
feeling? You're
wouldn't it?
playing a game of Dota, and you've all chat like, "Hey, good luck," and you
Yeah,
talk to
no
your
one
teammates,
rep-
and
no
no
one
one's just
replies.
like, "Holy, like, wait, what am I actually playing? Like, is
Bot
this
game.
bots?"
Playing bots, yeah.
No, usually it's just high-rated North American matchmaking. Unfortunately,
I think that applies to all
Void.
regions. I think it's NA related.
yeah.
Chrono and Egg is this, so
Oh, it's
It might not be that good of a game for Faceless Void. They have a lot of burst. It's always pain in the ass to play away against the Skywrath Mage.
other Skyrath. Yeah.
You know, I actually disagree because I think when you
10
play high burst
seconds
lineups, you love having heroes like Phoenix Void because if you don't get bursted, the fight's
5
over.
seconds
There's no
remain.
sustained damage coming out from a tiny in the sky. If they don't kill a Void in an opening, there's no hope that they win a team fight. And even in the event that they do get the initial pickoff, what skills do they have now to chase for more? And that's my big issue with this BOOM.ID lineup. I don't see any sustained DPS. None. And I don't know how you can win fights consistently through the mid to late game if you can't do that. You need a jug with like 8 items.
We talk about buyback management as well. That also impacts on that.
Yeah.
If you've blown everything,
Yeah.
why buy back?
It's true. It makes Roche, because the games come down to Roche fights and these big clashes
Yep.
over objectives, and I can literally walk in with Razor, feed for 2 ultimates, and buy back. The solo special.
Radiant crew.
He's a master of it. I've seen him buy back on Lion, feeding at Roche like at least 10 times.
I still think the buyback mechanic is underrated in terms of where it fits into the meta. I think Virtus Pro solved that a long
Looking
time
happy
ago.
And yeah,
with the draft. He was like, sweet, we got everything we wanted.
We got a Sven, we can't die. The
Ooh.
effective HP from Warcry
It's
against
nice,
these
isn't it?
heroes.
There's your anti-burst stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
That's-
not against the magic. It's just physical.
Do you think it's an off-lane
Seconds remain.
Sven? I think it is. That is like, no, it's got, that is a Seb special. I already, never mind. We're going to see a 2-0-4. If there were still stats in the game, he'd skill him. He's going to buy a Vlad's. He's going to buy a Crimson Guard, a Greaves, and he's going to say, what's up, guys? You actually do no damage to us. And, yeah, I mean, I don't even need to really discuss this. OG's going to win this game, and that's really all there is to it.
Is it
Let's do some predictions.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Kyle. Ted.
It would honestly be ridiculous.
Okay.
I'm gonna back.
All right.
I want 57%. He's a 50. Well, if I beat Kyle, I'm happy. Match him.
Okay. Can we just clarify what beating Kyle means? Is it getting lower than Kyle or higher than Kyle?
Higher than
Kyle.
Yeah,
Okay.
I decided I want to win.
Okay.
I'll go with
Because-
OG as well. Definitely. When BOOM.ID uses their spells, I don't think they can fight after that. And as you mentioned, the buyback right after is just gonna win them team fight. Faceless Void, Chrono, Razor, and Egg. too hard to fight into.
Okay. Obviously green. It's OG clean sweep as far as the panel members are concerned. Let's find out what our commentary team think in terms of their predictions as well, because you guys are involved in this as well. Good morning, by the way. How you doing?
Coming in closer.
Hi.
I'm in the shot, I think.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm with the clean sweep. I
with
think
the
this,
clean- okay.
this looks really good for OG, and it's still also OG versus BOOM.ID. OG were already favorites coming into this matchup.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. Okay. Well, that's disappointing from a prediction point of view.
Sorry.
Let's hope we have a better game, gents. It's all yours.
Yeah. No, it's always a fun game when you got a Faceless Void Chrono and then Sven trying to hit into it. That always makes it very entertaining. And Razor doing heavy amount of damage from never the start of the fight, also very entertaining. So I'm really liking OG's draft. This will be a very entertaining game.
I mean, there's definitely a possibility of mess-ups in their own team. Like, you could say they have a bit of anti-synergy in some ways, but in other ways they have really good synergy. I think one of Phoenix's absolute favorite teammates is Faceless Void, so obviously great synergy there. And while the Razor might need a bit of time to train, he's also still, you know, he's a ranged hero. He has an AoE nuke that can hit the Chronosphere. It's not that bad. And when you look at the other side, which I think the panel already touched upon a decent amount, is that BOOM.ID have a lot of this single target burst damage, but they don't have a very good team fight, actually. And they don't have that good control of how the damage gets output. Like, Omnislash is still, you know, a bit random how the damage gets output. Lina has a little bit of AoE among her two first nukes, but obviously the Laguna is not AoE, that'll be pretty good. So when OG go into a team fight, if they land a good Chrono or a good Sven stun or a good Earth Spirit setup, and they just pile on them with all their team fight, what does BOOM.ID actually do? I think they have to kill the egg with Lina, but what if she's chronoed?
I don't know how they do that, and I don't know how they even actually the OG. Remember the changes to Warcry. This is just so much life that OG walks around with. This is why it's really the set special. I wouldn't even be surprised if you want to put it into a 4-roll. Thompson, a little bit trickier. He's dealing some damage to level 1 lightning, so he's producing some damage when you got 3 heroes there, also in the spin. ILTV, he's going to go for the Skywrath mage on the wrong side of the tracks, and that's why GRX short the bolts down. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off, but BOOM.ID got exactly what they were looking for. They're looking for the first blood. They were looking for that early aggression. They may not get as many runes as they would like, however, as already OG looking across the river. Seb will be able to claim the bottom one, but GRX rolling boulders in. This will be 3 runes. Actually, not going their way. It was a 2-2 split.
That's an interesting way of saying it. 3 runes not going. It was like the other team got 3 runes, but
yeah,
they both got 2. 2 for 2, so pretty even. The first blood gold going to Juggernaut is obviously really nice for 1D. Good start there for Fervian. Not to be mistaken for the CIS player Fervian. Interesting that they both have that same thing. Is that like a character in some sort of...
Fervian?
Fervian? I don't know.
It would sound like a fuzzy anime.
I mean, I don't know. But it makes me think, like, the fact that 2 players have this exact nickname that I believe has no connection to... I don't know what it is.
Everything connects back to anime syndrome. So
yeah,
obviously it's a character there. Top lane, that's a dive onto Joe-Cam. He's well underneath the tier 1 tower. GRX and Noritail just seem to have this idea of, you know what, we're just going to keep moving, we're going to keep ganking. They were battling around the Dire Shrine in the jungle before that, just chasing the support, making sure the Tusker has no influence on this map. And he went tag team to begin with, so there's no snowball, there's no closing the distance, there's no him rotating towards mid lane and causing problems for Thompson.
Speaking of rotating to mid lane, that might be something we'll see from GRX later on. One of Earth Spirit's biggest strengths is his ability to cross between those lanes and connect on mid. And I do think in this kind of game, Thompson might actually need help. This is not in my view, that good of a lane for Razor. He generally wants to run in, play aggressive with his Drain, and take the man fight on the lane, but he can't really do that against Lina. She outranges him. Very hard to get static link up in the first place, and even if you do, Lina can skill that stun on level 4 most likely to just
she'll get the space. Like she just out DPS's Thompson early on, right? And harasses Seb. That's a little deep and aggressive. It's still a level 2 Sven. On the run back out. Thompson's actually really low as well in the mid. He's going to have to burn that salve already.
Yeah. Makoto is playing very aggressive as he should in this lane.
GRX gonna fall once again. This spin from the Juggernaut.
The panel was calling Jugger trash, but for the moment...
I very much disagree with that statement. That hero's actually really good. But, okay.
Okay, but yeah, I think
not the first time
I think not calling him pub trash though. Like that was the real phrase. Not that he was a bad hero.
Kyle is pub trash.
On trash. BOOM.ID, this defensive tri-lane, and they really want to continue to find them, because while this goes on, like Tiny's having a half decent time against Seb on the bottom, obviously Seb going in deep. Lena's having a great time having no rotations against him. It's a 17-3 versus a 9-1 lane in mid, and now Notel locked in by the shards. He can't Icarus dive away. He's got Fire Spirits instead to lend the extra damage, allowing ILTV to move forward. Nice rolling boulder forward, but where's the control? The time walk up, and he will find the kill on that Faceless Void against the Skywrath, juking it in the tree lines. Trying to buy a little bit more time for control to arrive, but is in fact there for BOOM.ID. Turning into the Tusker. They want to find this kill, but the Juggernaut spin, trying to juke up and down through the fog. Will not work. And Joker, really? So low, taunting as he runs away from Jirax.
His base HP regen is higher than the damage of Orb of Venom, so he was fine the whole time. It looked like he might take down to it, but obviously not possible for Jirax to find the kill there. And yep, BOOM.ID, they're off to a great start, you gotta say. They're kind of just winning 3 lanes, actually. The Lina is definitely favored in mid just from the matchup. This top lane's going great because they have a tri-lane with Juggernaut in it. And the enemy team has the Void. And then the Tiny versus Sven looks pretty even overall. I would say slight advantage maybe for the Tiny, but just having those extra denies.
But was this to be expected? Like, it's a lot of single target from BOOM.ID. Like, they should be up in the faces of OG. But what happens when the levels start to come in? Is this enough of an advantage? You're 1 kill up, you're 1k-ish gold up as well. But it still feels like once the levels are there, once the combo arrives, OG is still going to be stronger.
Isn't this also when OG is most comfortable? Just get behind 15 or 20k gold and then...
Yeah, I got to be 10 kills down. We'll have a look at this. This was the kill up on top lane behind the tower. This is the one we're missing as we're looking towards all the lanes, so Burns in the trees. That's right, we don't miss any kills. T2ers, be it live or replay or slacks. He can analyze them later.
Yeah, can't wait for that one.
We can wait till tomorrow. And top lane, this Skywrath has been such a pain. The bottom lane Seb's being harassed as well. Back behind the tower, nice shard. Blocking in Seb, he'll have to go out and then around, but the Avalanche stun him up slowly. Dying underneath his own tier 1 tower.
Yeah, this is one of the benefits of Juggernaut, is that he's one of the easier carries to leave alone for a little bit and go for moves, because obviously he's relatively safe on his own with Blade Fury, especially against a lane like Earth Spirit Phoenix supports that don't really do that much to him. So it opened up for a pretty quick and easy rotation there from Jokum to get that kill bottom. So yeah, nice movement so far again. BOOM.ID now 2k up. What was the bounty rune trade-off? Was that a 3-for-1?
It was a 3-for-1.
Yeah.
And they're rotating into what's mid again. So you start up the static link, but now look who's coming in. So Thompson, he's got a lot of stolen damage, but it won't matter. Skywrath Mage just rotates in 1 quick seal and fire up Laguna and just watch the Razor pop. He's meant to be the tanky core, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But he did
Later
go 2
on.
bracers. Thompson's actually going double bracer Razor build. I don't think I've ever seen this before. But it plays into the idea that he needs to tank up, get some magic resistance against this Lina. Didn't help him out that much there, though.
No.
But, very few heroes at this stage of the game will survive an Ancient Seal Laguna combo, so...
They're now going up towards top lane. Remember that seal stops the Faceless Void from getting away as well with the Time Walk, if they can do the damage to him. But they cannot, not during the level 1 seal duration of 3 seconds.
And No-Tail came in a little bit closer than the Void as well and ate the concussive shot and pretty much stopped that kill potential from working out for BOOM.ID.
Do you like it when you see Thompson on such heroes like Razor? Like when we saw him with OG before TI, he was always these big nukers, these big spell damage dealers, and it was Anna who would play the control role. Do you like him on the Razor to fulfill the same type of role for OG?
I think my favorite thing, like type of heroes to see Thompson play, are heroes that can go a little bit crazy, you know, can do things that look like overextensions, but then they walk out in the end because you have like this almost surprise factor, like Monkey King. We saw his Pugna a lot at TI, like his Skywrath Mage. You know, these like you said, nukers. I personally find those heroes to be his best, but you'd imagine OG are doing this for a reason, that they have some sort of, perhaps a little bit slightly different playstyle.
Yep. Towards mid, rolling boulder is coming in from Jirax, but he gets sealed up. There's no kick, there's nothing to really follow up from Jirax, so Razor is already dead. Tusker will be the rebuttal thanks to the extra help that arrived from Notel, and that will help ensure the kill onto Lina, or maybe not. G-Dit's bottle charges up through it. Around the timing of the Fire Spirit's tick.
Yep. No shrines available for them, though, so probably has to go back to base, or at least get a bottle refill.
As coming in from the Tusker.
Yep.
That's a good thing he died.
Yeah. Great job, Jokum. Keep it up. All right, they failed the bottle refill.
Oh,
Not very great job. Jokum, don't keep it up. That's actually, how do you fail this?
Yeah, like you literally passed a bottle into him. Did he have, his item slots were just full, I assume?
I would be surprised if he doesn't know that it doesn't refill in the backpack, but you know, it could be. Maybe he's never had 6 items.
They're going to mid, concussive, seal, and they just need one extra damage. No, the shards push Thompson further away. The stick charges kept them alive a little bit longer, but the orbs, they're still following through. There's no way to survive this while that's going on. Faceless Void dies up on top with the ES underneath the tower as the Omni Slash that triggered, and all the extra Blade Fury damage they required.
So Jerax the Grieville after preemptively, and they got double killed.
Oops.
That's something.
Be under attack, gormless swabbies.
But maybe they're just making it a little bit more difficult for themselves.
This is pretty difficult.
They're just trying to mess with all the predictions of the panel as well.
They're 4k gold behind minute 9. That's pretty rough. Even if you have a good team fight lineup, you don't want to be this far behind in the laning stage, but they're up against a 6-0 Juggernaut in this safe lane.
Do you like the Juggernaut as well, going in for this early Yasha as opposed to completing up an early Battle Fury and just escalating his farm further?
I've seen different builds from Juggernaut. Actually, wait a second, rolling boulder. Yeah. Very nice combination.
Perfect kickback from Jirax. The Avalanche from FBZ causing a couple of problems, but they want to just move back up, but that's that war cry. They just don't have the damage to get through. Now it's going to wear off, so the shields are gone. Seb, he is well in too deep, and a quick Laguna Blade from the Lina puts down the Sven.
About your Juggernaut question, I've seen different builds. I've seen the Yasha build up. Actually, we're going to see it build here again in mid.
This is the
shots, they fail, but they still do manage to connect with Snowball. But this, it's the Juggernaut top, yeah. Oh, he spins them both. He has stick charges. Oh, boy, did get time walk off in time.
There you go.
Slop here from OG.
Three cameras. And goodbye bottom lane. Notel dies just from the Dragon Slave.
I think I got time to talk. Never mind, let's not talk about Juggernaut.
Yeah, Jirax is dead again. Okay, now you got time.
He got a bounty rune though.
Well, maybe not. There's TP's coming out towards top lane, and Thompson's not a healthy man. He's trying to farm up with the Eye of the Storm.
Oh, they're finding the Void.
He's got Chronos here available. They got the damage to kill him, and he's going to Chrono, do a little bit of damage. He doesn't have Time Walk, so instead, he just has to throw out the level 1 Time Dilation. But I think Thompson as well as ILTV are going to be very happy they're able to at least survive this. Less happy the Shrine's on cooldown for 50 seconds.
Yeah. They did lose their bottom tower as well, so BOOM.ID are still finding good progress on the map. They're doing really well in this game. They've actually just been crushing OG in the laning stage with their early aggression, which is kind of something we saw happen for OG in their latest series against Gambit. And which tournament was that? One of the ones here over Christmas?
Into Madness.
To Madness. It was the finals. They lost 3-0 to Gambit, just getting overrun, really, in all the 3 games. And maybe that's inspired BOOM.ID a little bit to be like, look, OG, they pick these like kind of slower lineups. Let's just try to beat them like Gambit did, playing fast. Obviously, BOOM.ID are playing very different heroes than Gambit did in that series, but the logic is kind of similar. You eat fast, you have strong lane, and you try to snowball the game. And so far, so good. Juggernaut items. He bought a Yasha, like you said. I've seen some builds. You go Yasha to Battle Fury, or sometimes you can rush the Manta. It looks like that's Fervian's idea right now. Pretty decent way of dealing with, or making him stronger against especially the Earth Spirit. Getting silenced as Juggernaut is really annoying, so you can get rid of that. If you were to rush Battle Fury in this game, I think perhaps in a way you're playing a little bit more into OG's hands. Like right now you're you're ahead, you feel like you're ahead in the game, you know you're winning.
Yeah.
If you start slowing it down with your Juggernaut and farming, there's two ways of looking at it. One is, well, if Juggernaut can farm and we can fight them with 4, our Juggernaut can get really big. The other one is, what if I go like a hybrid thing? Yasha also increases farming speed, but also makes me a strong fighter, and then I can keep up with the pace of my team.
They've already found their target. It's going to be... Yeah, no, wait, 5. The Super is jumping in. You've got time dilation on 4 heroes, but there's no Chrono Spirit into the Omni-Slash. Juggernaut can do the work. Supernova in a great position, but there's no one else to protect it. Not enough of the Fire Spirit's out, so buyback comes in. Snowball as well, going towards Thompson as Jorkam. He'll be there. Nortel giving the life through the Sunray, but it's also not enough, and then sealed up. It's going to be a dieback. OG are falling apart, the seams. Shard blocked up. Even Jiras cannot escape. No way out. They're all dead, and OG even bought back during that fight on the Phoenix. 6 players down. They fought with no Chronosphere and no real strength in any of their heroes.
It almost looks like OG are just underestimating their opponents. Not only their lineup, but also how well they're going to play. Like, BOOM.ID are showing up today. They're really good spell casting. You see the sequence, quick kill on the Sven. They start spreading out already for the Void. That was a good time walk, or this fight would have been even worse, but they very quickly identify Chrono's on cooldown, let's just go for it. Immediately switching target to the egg here with Juggernaut, Spin, and Delina. Just doing the right targeting and the right spell casting in these fights and outplaying OG, really. There's not much more to it.
Yep.
And, well, OG might need to be a little bit more careful. Like, you pick this lineup, Phoenix and Void, don't fight without Chrono.
It does seem rather pointless. Like, how are you ever meant to get the egg off when Juggernaut and Lina, like Fiery Soul, it's that attack speed that you're looking for that Phoenix can never stop.
OG's lineup flat out just doesn't really have enough damage yet. Earth Spirit is level 5, minute 14, so there's no magnetize. Your Sven, who's kind of the hard hitter of your lineup right now, died first. And you kind of need the Phoenix and Earth Spirit actually to carry the fights right now with their team fight spells, but the requirement for that is that you get a Chrono off, so now is the timing, perhaps.
Perhaps, but at the same time, BOOM.ID, like, okay, they're gonna go after Jorkam, but the silence is just too good. These are quick and easy abilities that can just easily come back off cooldown for BOOM.ID to find once more. Supernova's down, the Chronosphere, it's good. This will be able to impact. Tuskar cannot get back out again. The stuns onto the Juggernaut, and now OG, they've got the power in the back lines. However, the Snowfall, he actually is surviving a lot longer than he really should. In fact, Tuskar finally will go. Now he actually has the damage to bring to the fight. OG, now they've turned up. 4 heroes down for BOOM.ID. They're a long way behind, but this repairs a large chunk of that economical damage.
They finally found the kind of fight that they needed. They used the Supernova aggressively, kind of baited the Juggernaut to try to go on it. They get the Chrono. And really important for the outcome of that fight, Lina wasn't at range to connect. Had no TP scroll, low on mana in his own jungle. And OG just kind of pulled off a quick move, so really good comeback play here from them. Getting out on the Tusk to begin with. They even got a bit counterplayed here, but if you look at the minimap, you see Lina is
so far away.
Totally out of this play.
Well, they probably weren't expecting the fight, right?
No, it seems a bit unlikely that OG is just going to randomly show up 5 heroes mid and try to roll on you, but they identify that they have to take a team fight with their spells, and fortunately for them, I think if Lina's there, they actually lose this fight too.
Yeah.
The egg would have definitely died to a Lina, but I don't know if OG saw Lina on a ward. I don't think they had one, so maybe they just took a risk. Sometimes you got to take a risk and it can pay off. Yeah,
they don't have any ward around there. Back again in middle lane. Razor was having some bottom at the same time. He's rotated towards him with that $196 damage he took from Tiny. A 3-man smoke up from BOOM.ID. They're looking for their own target. The Dire are scanning up, but they're not actually getting any kind of extra ping on it. Neighborhood, so and Spirit will say hi to each other. The seal comes, but he already got the rolling ball off at FVZ. So quick to move forward thanks to that blink dagger on the Tiny. Difficult to escape. And now while Chronosphere is down another 20 seconds on cooldown, BOOM.ID capitalized, pushing the mid. Warfrite already out, Seb looks for, actually failed the stuns. They got the spin out from the Juggernaut, but Snowball forward. They really want to attack into Thompson. He's crossed over the river while the rest of OG are hunting the Skywrath mage. TPs are out from BOOM.ID and they are leaving.
I think that's a pretty good back call. Your Juggernaut had 196 damage stolen, so he's going to do absolutely nothing for the rest of the fight. And you managed to only cut 1 support to get out of there after getting the tower. That's good play. I think BOOM.ID feel pretty good about this move. overall. Very minimal loss.
Is that team fight sustain that Carl was talking about? Like, what happens if Juggernaut does lose damage? Like, you cast your abilities and who's got the follow-up? Like, yes, Skywrath can nuke a lot. Got Talisman's just fueling this. He did exactly what we were talking about in the draft stage. It's no boots. Just 4 nulls on Skywrath. Chronosphere up on top.
They missed
support coming in, but Phoenix, he didn't get the Nova off. Now it will happen, but Juggernaut arrives, starts his spin, so instantly gets through the Nova and OG. Bit in the butt. That is not what they wanted at all. And Thompson's now arrived as well. Ben's in the neighborhood. He's got a Stormbolt available. Good thrown out onto the Juggernaut, dealing out that damage. He does get into the Omni Slash, but Thompson, he's still stealing the damage even through the Omni Slash. So there was almost no damage out from that, but it will not matter when Lina has the range, has the distance, and also have the expansification from Seal. So they'll try and lock in Seb. He's got the 1 charge available, but is battling 1v4. Warcry gets the dual scepter him up, bring it back down again. No movement, no strength, and that is one very dead Sven.
That was a team wave, actually. They do at least get the tower with the creep wave, so they were fighting for them the whole time, but yeah, the engage in that fight just miscoordinated. It's one of the worst feelings as Phoenix when you play with the Void and you end up diving into the Chronosphere instead of placing the egg beforehand, and OG just didn't time their spells correctly. They kind of ended up killing themselves, because diving into the Chrono is obviously worse than not even using the dive. And then they had time to TP in, they kill the egg fast with Jugger and Lina, and things kind of just escalated from there.
This is a little bit nicer. ILTV has managed to find the Lina, so they just need to keep the control up. Jirax rolls forward. Lina thought she actually had a little bit of an opportunity, because ES was just, well, farming up the mid lane. So that's some space to be created for OG after what was a terrible fight. They're going to try and capitalize quickly into Roshan to try and find that kill.
Let's see the fight again here. So notice how you want the Phoenix to dive in now and play Supernova, but this timing is totally off. So he's stuck in this. You see him immediately being pinged by Tiny. He does get the egg off at least, but now plenty of time for the support TPs to come in. Beautiful double stun from Lina. They pile onto these 3 heroes, really getting all 3 kills, and then afterwards, really surprising again, why are OG went in 2-on-4 afterwards? Just lost extra heroes.
FBZ's trying to have the balls to try and play this. He was looking to blink in, take out Roshan. Jirax just tanked it up as Faceless Void. ILTV is finally able to kill off Roshan. He got bashed up a couple of times, which slowed up the process, while Tusker, controlled up by the ES, Skywrath made being focused. And Omni Slash, they can tank it together. There is a lot of strength in this lineup, especially in this vent. On the Omni Slash, try and run yourself away. The Sunray looking to burn through the stun. They'll get rid of that healing ward as well, and now they can finally get the kill on the Juggernaut. Hilariously enough, Tusker is able to survive this entire time, but Chronosphere has not been committed yet, and they will not get the opportunity. Already in full retreat, BOOM.ID back into base. Apart from time, going for bounty runes. Money, money, money.
It's kind of funny how Dota works sometimes. You see BOOM.ID got the full team up top and lost the tower. Then would get 1 kill to kill the Lina, and it gives them a full push. Because Lina didn't have any buyback, and in comparison, the team fight that BOOM.ID won, there were many resources expended that couldn't go for the Roach afterwards with the heroes they had alive. So, yeah. In the end, OG kind of have equalized this game. Just that 1 Invis rune kill on Luna gave them so much on the ground on the map. Roshan kill, extra team fight. They're looking to be in a pretty good position now. We haven't talked so much about Thompson.
TP comes in from the Juggernaut. He gets a very quick spin off, and he needs that immunity, so he didn't get controlled and stunned up.
Should be okay here.
Yeah, he's definitely fine. I think it was BOOM.ID trying to work out if they still wanted to fight this. The Skywrath Mage was nearby, but they won't take it. They'll group up in mid lane instead.
I was going for a pretty cool Razor build this game, identifying how useful Pipe is, OG, so it's a great item that sure to get. And now he's going Solar Crest, and I think they're going to place on Void. He can solo kill heroes in the Chrono, or if there's a perfect situation, it's also good to put it on Sven, of course. Does hit very hard with that God Strength activated. That attack speed helps out a lot. So he has 2 good allies to use that on. It's very nice. A lot of the time people, at least in the past, from think,
Jirax did not want to go up there. Thompson's nearby. Jirax is actually surviving a decent amount of time, but not long enough. They toss back down Thompson, but Seb will arrive with a Stormbolt, so Tiny stunned up, still on the retreat. There's a lot of players from BOOM.ID potentially ready to fight. They're able to to do so. Laguna Blade, heavy damage. Albert faces Void, jumps forward. He hits the tomb, then Chrono. Tiny together. They'll be pulled in by the shards. Both players down as you move further. Direct, another rolling boulder down and actually over towards the Tusker, kicking him up. So maybe not a full part of the plan, as Faceless Void has now finally gone. But watch that slash, watch that bounce back out again. Juggernaut's managed to retreat down south. Well, the Tusker has finally fallen. Durex gets some health from No Tail. But Juggernaut should be very happy he was able to survive through this.
I think he was actually spin TPing out, and then he realized he had a chance killing the Void, and either he got bashed or he cancelled it. ILTV really wanted to stop that TP, and he did do it, but it cost him his life. And since they didn't get the Jugger anyway, I guess we're going to see a replay of it.
Yeah, we will.
So this is the pipe activation doing so much work for Jerax. It takes them really long to get the kill, and that means they have to overextend a little bit. And with OG and then getting a flank move here in a moment with him onto the Lina and the Sven, or like Lina and Tiny rather. Yeah, they were trying to go for this kill. I actually really like this attempt for BOOM.ID to turn around because they knew he used the time walk, but they just don't have enough in the tank to bring him down. Comes in from the left and gets this double chrono. In a moment, I think he is indeed trying to TP out in a moment with the spin, and will get cancelled by Void, but actually Void ends up killing himself. There you go. That's the TP. I'll use the man to really get a kill. He was himself cancelling that. Yep. Got a kill on the way out, but still a great fight for OG. They're now finally in the gold lead. If you look at the graph, I think that's the first time the whole game, seriously it is, that they pull in the lead. So like we were talking about, classic OG game, let's just lose the early game and find a good team fight and come back. This is pretty much their...
It still feels like...
This is their MTI. Let's win later in the game.
At least this game feels like a lot more entertaining just because BOOM.ID did have that really good start.
Yeah.
Like the Juggernaut and the Lina are still strong. If they could find a good positioning into the engagements, then they're looking better. And FBZ seems to be a really great activator. That, with his Blink Dagger, can just jump forward, but he needs to get the initiation. OG, however, they are walking as 5, same as BOOM.ID, who smoked up. Tusker, he'll reveal himself for the moment, and War Cry from Seb. They'll catch up 3, gets the Stormbolt out, and maybe with the healing wall they have enough life, but the Steel is in the face of Sport. He cannot get the Chronosphere off. Silence up, the referee still got that jump and goes into the back lines. Will he? No, he's holding it for the moment. Instead, initiation going into the Tusker, finish the job, the spin is out, and that Nova, no! He didn't get the last hit! The Supernova will fall thanks to the Chronosphere! From ILTV, finally in time, the kick flies in, and it actually clips the wings of Skywrath Mage. Oh boy, Lina wants to get out. Durex rolling balls forward. He'll get that stun from it, and Lina, a quick Yulsep tries to buy some more time, but he's got an earn charge on him, ticking out the Lina, down to 30 HP. Another one applied by Durex, and it will not matter. He's in with a Shadow Blade. The Lina will fall. BOOM.ID, they were so close to bringing down that Supernova. One more attack would have done it.
I think it's really important for BOOM.ID right now to find a way of getting Lina in position to hit that egg. If they want to ever have the hope of winning a team fight, they need to either kill the Void before the Chrono comes out, or kill that egg when it does come out. So maybe Lina needs a different mobility item, either a BKB so she can stand strong and try to just hit the egg in the BKB, or a dagger perhaps to get in position. Oh, they're trying to go on the Razor here.
FBZ throwing Thompson away so he can't steal any more damage. He's already taken 87 points of it, but Durex in the neighborhood, so is Seb, and Tusker has to hide inside the snow. It's the only way to stay alive for the moment. He'll actually stun up Durex on the way through, but it will not matter. Thompson's already found the kill onto Tusker.
Thompson is absurdly tanky right now. Pipe, crest, 2k health, and 30 armor.
Let's have another look at this this last little kick for Skywrath. Do you think he was actually dodging it?
I think he was trying to.
There was an observer ward that actually saw coming. He could have seen it, but he actually walked into it.
Oops. There's a name for that phenomenon, actually, where you see it coming and then you focus so much on the fact that it's flying toward you.
You gravitate towards it.
That you don't dodge it. I can't remember what it's called, but I remember reading about this with something like if you concentrate way too much on it, you forget your relative position to it or something. There's something about that.
Yeah, I remember something like that when I was learning to drive. It was you focus on the edge of the road to make sure you're going to stay in, and you look at a sign and you just lean to the left.
Yeah, there's something. I don't remember the word for it.
Yeah.
There's definitely something like that. Let's just say that was that.
That's right.
It's okay.
I'm sure the panel will do it when Kyle stops talking about relativity.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Kyle will talk this again.
Yeah, Seb's in trouble up on top lane. He does not have the life to survive this. And this shows you that single target. BOOM.ID just need to catch one person out at the same time. OG did the same thing, but it was to the Tusker.
Yep. So a slightly less valuable kill, of course, but at the same time, though, OG's kill has more value in the way that they killed on the enemy side of the map, so they're kind of forcing BOOM.ID to come back and defend anyway. So this one kill from BOOM.ID, it's a kill, but it gives nothing. And OG's kill gives a bit of map control instead, where they get to maintain the pressure on the map. Playing on the enemy high ground here, on the right-hand side, probably looking to cut a wave or two if they can, and then just maintain pressure. Perhaps a smoke into Chronosphere play is on the menu soon. They have the tools they need to take a team fight. They honestly just need to...
Yeah, the team fight tools get a little stronger. There's an Aghanim Scepter Phoenix.
I'm surprised he got it this early. Well, he's got a couple of good kills in fights, but he's also died a decent amount on the Phoenix. But, yeah. Has JRX been buying? I don't think so. Phoenix has a tendency of getting pretty rich. Obviously, the level 10 talent helps out a lot, the 90 GPM. So, very, arguably one of the single best scaling supports in the whole game. Its levels on this hero are amazing. Items are useful. In most situations, you can get your items off because you have the safety of just ulting after and not dying. And, well, this game... It kind of feels like, you know, you don't want to say it when it's a 4K lead, because we didn't say it for BOOM.ID. We weren't like, oh, BOOM.ID are 5 gold ahead, OG are just out of this game. You have this feeling OG can come back with a good team fight. Now that the tables have turned, you look at BOOM.ID and you're like, the way they need to find this fight now, it's not easy.
This helps though. And Thompson does like walk straight down mid lane.
Yeah, that generally
there
helps.
is nobody else with him, but how many times OG... Hey, it's a bait. Like, Seb was... Well, he's very renowned for doing that. Top lane, it's going to be FBZ into the Supernova. He knows he can't kill it. JRX rolling forward. Tiny has to cancel the TP, and there is no way for this Tiny to escape. He cannot do anywhere near enough damage, even with Echo and Crystallis. He could hit hard, but not when you're perma-stun.
Just barely got the Supernova off. That
they're actually going for Roshan
from Ags.
This will be a tier 2 for Roshan trade by the looks of it.
Yeah. It's very good for OG. This is the game-winning Roche for them that they would be planning for probably. Get the Aegis and Cheese, get their spells ready, and try to push high ground.
Now it's JRX's turn to walk up through the mid. They actually got a quick silence off underneath the tier 2 tower. No talent to Icarus dive himself away. Skywrath Mage, thanks to the Magnetize, JRX can just get the solo kill on the Skywrath Mage. Roshan has been completed, but Tusker well on the wrong side of the tracks. He's got a TP scroll available, but nowhere to run to safely get it off. So 3 players currently dead for BOOM.ID as the Aegis, the Immortal, gets into the hands of Faceless Void, and Thompson has the cheese.
And OG are just... Yeah, I think they're just going to wait for 40 seconds for the Supernova, maybe get some mana on Sven for the upcoming fight, or Matt can't even use all his spells, but maybe it's not a problem. When I say Matt, of course, I mean Seb.
Yeah, it's Matt.
It's Matt. It's still Matt.
Yeah.
I ain't changed his name, but let's be real, it's still Matt. Anyway.
So he threw away quality branding and fucking Matt.
He went, yeah, that was some... I mean, it was very memorable.
Yep.
Everybody remembers that name.
Yep.
Anyway.
God Strength, Warcry once again kicking in with the God Strength. There's so much damage arriving from this Sven. Thompson can just tank through almost everything. The shards will not block him, Faceless Void. Even if they did, you need the seal to hold him in.
They're showing more restraint here than I thought they would, actually. They're going to retreat and take the Shrine. They were in a position to take a full 5-on-5 team fight here with Chrono and the Supernova. Maybe they were waiting for Magnetize, which is now off cooldown. That's another great team fight ability, obviously, for them.
Yeah, but you did also burn God Strike. That's another 44 seconds.
Yeah, it's kind of their least important ulti. I think it's less important than the Razor ulti in this game, almost. Because Seb is not so much of a... He's not so much supposed to go in and kill heroes as he's supposed to just tank up, be annoying, front and carry auras, and take damage. So I guess, you know, you get health too from the strength. Oh, at least that aspect of it is missing, but he's still super tanky about it. But OG are...
And they're not going to fight. JRX went up towards the top lane, and bottom lane they pulled the creep wave, which is why it should have more momentum going back towards OG, because there's no reinforcements arriving.
This is a double siege creep wave bottom though. It still is.
Yeah, it's still pretty tanky. Like the tower will repel it.
it might not even reach the tower.
Interesting
Let's
observe.
follow this.
Well, they should really get rid of that observer was underneath the sentry, but it's seen so much.
Oops, 5 seconds for next spawn. It's actually not going to reach.
Are you actually
like,
are you trying to hype the bottom lane up to catapult push?
Creeps are important, man. They're a really big part of the game. If the heroes aren't fighting the creep, people want to see fights, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants to watch Dota to see people fight each other. If there's no fights, the creeps are always fighting, so you can always watch them.
Well, you may want to watch towards top lane. Jirax in a rolling boulder in, and he's actually able to find Tiny inside the tree line. Had no vision. He was just looking and guessing after the avalanche, and then blink away happened from the Tiny. And he hit the money. The spider sense was tingling.
Yep.
And they're going to push top lane. Instant smoke up from OG. They're having all these fights without having to commit the Chronosphere. So they've still got the big, powerful team fight.
And Seth is taking care of pushing out mid already, so OG have 2 waves pushing in, but just thinking about maybe cutting this wave. Didn't go for it though. Could have pulled it away, which would pay off big here. Skyrim doesn't kill it.
Jump in. Does he want to go? No, the seal's already being committed. Nice and early on. That's a decent cooldown.
Oh, he killed the courier with the Walrus Punch. Not bad.
Jirax jumps in. They found the instant target onto the Skywrath Mage. So there goes that silent control BOOM.ID has been exploiting so well. Buyback will come in from the Skywrath Mage. They'll at least buy it back. Juggernaut would love to have a fight for the moment. They just jump forward, Faceless Void. They try and actually protect him, and they do. Tusker already down. Faceless Void just jumped in deeper after Skywrath Mage under the tier 4 towers. Laguna still not enough to kill the Void. Remember, he's up the Aegis Immortal. He doesn't care if he dies even in front of the fountain. Do they look for this kill? 3 players alive. Jirax a rolling boulder in, gets a stun over on Tiny and kicks the Faceless Void back out of any initiation that BOOM.ID was thinking of. At this point, stop the Juggernaut bouncing forward, but they're just going in for the GG. If they can take out the tier 4 towers, that's about the side. Skywrath is dead on a tieback. I don't know if BOOM.ID have what it takes to defend this.
OG still have their big team fight. They haven't used any spells like Sven Ultimate. So if BOOM.ID isn't going to be able to take the fights, then they're just going to end the game anyway. You have to try to fight into this scary combo.
He got the jump right over on top of the Lina. Chronosphere, there is no target. Everyone's too grouped up together, and Tiny's done out the back lines. Jirax, he's just made the job of holding out the rock. Spin is down, but this is an Aghanim Phoenix. You know it takes so much to get through the egg, and they're unable to do it, which means Toxinus all the time to steal the damage to really win the game. BOOM.ID is still putting up a fight. Lina finally punched down by the Earth Spirit. Jirax will rolling boulder down, lands another stun, and actually gets himself a double kill for his efforts. Tiny tries to do as much as he can. Jirax, they just tank through this. Warcry buff up, they have the shields, the Lotus Orb will not protect enough, and maybe BOOM.ID actually has enough here. Thompson, he's already consumed it, looks to steal more of the damage and able to do so. Hold the Juggernaut inside the Chronosphere, even the Sunray burning Tiny on the other side of time and space. Seth gets the double stun out. BOOM.ID, the reinforcements wanted to come in, but it was stopped in the tracks, and OG will take game 1 after what was a bit of a rough early game.
That was very, very close to being a hold for BOOM.ID. I think the Phoenix Egg had 1 health left.
Yep.
They did manage to blow up the Void before he got the protective Chrono off on top of the egg, but still just falling barely short in that fight. It still feels like
they're still
even
smiling pretty heavily for what could be a lot closer game than they anticipated.
I think OG still had fun. You know, they're messing around a lot with their chat wheels as always. It just seemed like a jolly bunch when things are going well, at least. Definitely would agree that OG could have played that game quite a bit better, especially in the early laning stage, but when it came to the team fights later, they had a couple of key moments where they landed their spells correctly. And BOOM.ID, their lineup kind of fell short in the way we were expecting it to. Eventually, the team fight just overwhelms them. OG get too tanky, they don't have enough damage, and the Chronosphere and Supernova, which weren't even outstanding this game, and in some fights they didn't even need. It was like, you know, we talk about Enigma and the threat of the Black Hole being strong. It's kind of the same logic with Void Phoenix. Your heroes have to place themselves in awkward ways because